Hey guys, it's David over here at InvestQ, and BigBear.ai is reporting earnings pretty soon. Their Q2 earnings report, the results will come out on August 10th, and we have seen we have seen a few recent positive developments for the company. Now, while we are seeing these positive developments, the company has announced new contracts. They've expanded their AI capabilities, and they've continued pushing further into defense and commercial artificial intelligence. Even though that all of these things sound good on paper, investors want to know a few things. And well, actually, we don't even have to label it as a few things. We can narrow it down to just one thing specifically, and that is, can all of these positive developments actually translate financially to positive financial results? So in this video, I want to be going over and breaking down some of the biggest things that investors are looking out for in the next earnings report. And again, my name's David over here at InvestQ. Feel free to hit the like and subscribe button if you do enjoy the content, and check out the free InvestQ community below. Now, first thing that I want to cover, my voice might sound a little bit raspy, so sorry if it sounds a little off. But anyways, the first thing that investors want to be looking out for would be regarding revenue, because investors, well, first off, if I'm not mistaken, the expected revenue is supposed to be, let me see, BBAI expected revenue. I think it's supposed to be over 37 million. Yeah, so they're expecting it between 35.54 and $36.37 million for Q2 of 2026. Now, obviously revenue trends is something that investors are always looking out for in any quarterly report, regardless on how they feel about the company. And well, one of the reasons why people are also anxiously anticipating to see what the revenue is going to actually be on August 10th is because recently management has reaffirmed the annual revenue between $135 million and $165 million. So again, the investors are going to want to see if the quarter keeps the company on pace to reach that goal for the fiscal year of 2026. And if revenue does come in above expectations, that obviously would be a net positive for the company. But even if it simply comes as expected, investors are also going to be listening to management's comments about the rest of the year to see if they still sound confident to keep that goal of between $135 and $165 million in just 1 year, in this fiscal year of 2026. The next thing, I've talked about it numerous times because we've been covering BigBear.ai more frequently lately. And specifically, the next thing that investors will be looking out for will be regarding margins, because as we do know, last quarter they did have good gross margins at 34%. And this is quietly, well, on this channel it hasn't been quiet because I've been discussing it numerous times, but overall I would say that it has quietly become one of the important parts of the story for BigBear.ai. And the company, they have been trying to shift away from lower margin consulting work and transitioning towards higher margin AI software. And that's important because software businesses, they typically do make more money on every dollar of revenue. So investors don't just want to see that revenue grow. They also want to see that they also want to see the quality of that revenue improving. Quick reminder before we continue, if you're enjoying the content and want to connect with the community, check out the first link below for the free InvestQ community. And if you want access to advanced stock research and tools, the second link is a Prophecy 7-day trial for just $7. And last, if you want daily market updates and behind the scenes content, follow me on Instagram using the third link in the description. Now, let's get back to the video. And if gross margins can continue moving higher, that's a really encouraging sign that the business is becoming more profitable over time. And again, revenue and profitability, the two biggest things that investors are going to be looking out for. So the next thing that I would say is also important is, what do we talk about when it comes to defense companies? So as we do know, BigBear.ai is in the defense market, and one way that they do generate revenue is through government contracts and adding to that backlog. So we want to see if in the upcoming quarters, in the upcoming months for BigBear.ai, since they do work heavily with the United States government and they have lots of defense customers, they want to see a growing backlog. Investors want to see that. And even if revenue doesn't explode this very quarter, strong contract announcements or an increasing backlog could give investors confidence about future growth. And I'll be paying close attention to anything management says about the federal budget environment and whether customers' demand has remained strong. Now, next thing, again, as we do know, at the end of last year, BigBear.ai had a recent acquisition of Ask Sage, and they recently acquired the company. And the market now wants to know, how are those businesses performing, and are they actually bringing in new customers? Are they helping increase revenue? And are they creating new opportunity for cross-selling products? And if management is able to show that these acquisitions are already creating value in real time, I think investors will most likely view this as positive. And the last thing that I want to mention would be regarding the cash position for BigBear.ai, because growing AI companies do need cash to invest in new technology. They also need it for other things, specifically to hire more employees and to continue expansion. So investors, they will be looking out to see how much cash BigBear.ai has on the balance sheet and whether management feels comfortable with their financial position. And as we do see, because shout out to prophecy, you can see that quarter over quarter, we have seen some pretty substantial improvements in their balance sheet as of recently. So last thing that I want to point out when it comes to the balance sheet is that if the company is becoming more efficient while still investing for growth, that's generally a good sign, and it's something that investors want to see. So when BigBear.ai reports earnings, which again, I will be live around the time of the earnings report, I don't think investors are only focused on whether the company beats the analyst estimates. They are going to be focused on that, but they're not going to focus on that solely. So what they're going to be looking for is confirmation that everything management has been talking about over the last several months is actually showing up in the numbers. So they want to see, can revenue grow? Can gross margin continue to improve? Can they get more contracts? And overall, will management make any mentions about the federal budget environment? And if they do think that they're going to get any more contracts in the short term, are the acquisitions actually paying off? And finally, what is their cash position going to look like? Overall, summarizing the whole video, those are the 5 points that investors will be looking out for. So overall, what do you think about BigBear.ai? Let me know in the comment section below. And let me know how you think Q2 is going to go. And also let me know what you want to see in future upcoming videos. And again, feel free to check out the second link in the description to try out Prophecy for $7 for 7 days, and the first link to join the free of charge InvestQ community. So with that being said, guys, stay safe. David Figueroa with InvestQ out, and I'll see you on the next video.